Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. On October 1st, there was the shooting at Umpqua College in Roseburg, Oregon. It was the second school shooting in that town in the past 7 years. In history, Robert Kennedy, the younger brother of President John F. Kennedy, came to Roseburg, Oregon in 1968 and spoke about gun control, only to be shot and killed by a gun 10 days later. In this video, I'm going to explain why Obama might be shot and killed himself October 19th. As I say that, though, I want you to realize that should that happen, I think Obama will have faked his death, and I suspect that Robert Kennedy faked his death as well. If that sounds ludicrous to you, please listen. I will show you why I think this is so. Remember that Robert Kennedy died at age 42. Roseburg, Oregon has gematria of 42, and I will show you in a moment why it's so significant that he died 10 days after being there. Please remember this date in history, though. This is February 11th, the 42nd day of the year 2009. Obama reopened Ford's Theater, which had been closed since 77. Ford's Theater was reopened for the first time in 1968 after being closed in the wake of the Lincoln assassination. It wasn't reopened until 1968. It remained open for 9 years. It was closed again in 77. And then it would reopen 32 years later in 2009 on the 42nd day of the year with Obama. And notice they had an actor there playing the part of Lincoln to complete the ceremony. Now think about this. Lincoln was assassinated in Ford's Theater. It was reopened in 68, the year MLK was assassinated, and then also the year Bobby Kennedy was assassinated. In that year, 911 was made the national emergency dialing code and World Trade Center construction started. 33 years later, September 11th, 2001 would happen. This Ford's Theater was built as a Baptist church in 1833, later becoming a theater. But the emphasis here is that he reopened it on the 42nd day, and this theater has the connections to the year 68 that Bobby Kennedy was killed. So now we need to change topics for a second. I need to set this up. I need you to understand the relationship between the numbers 144 and 666, which come from Revelation, the 66th book of the Bible. The number 66 has a lot to do with Bobby Kennedy's death. In Revelation, the 66th book, the final book, the number 144 is used twice, and the number 666 is used once. As it turns out, these numbers have a mathematical relationship and a gematria relationship. Gematria is the practice of coding numbers into words, which from my research shows that the English language is based on. It's sad that we haven't been told this as people who go to school and learn things that are supposedly important. And here, lo and behold, this gematria has been very important to history, but the people have not been taught about it. So that is why I do this work. I think this knowledge is important to get out. If you write out the phrase mark of the beast, it sums to 144 using the alphabetic order. The phrase mark of the beast alludes to the number 666. If you sum the first 144 decimal points of pi, it sums to 666. Look at how the phrase dead Kennedys has gematria of 666. This number 144 is very much attached to the death of JFK and RFK. First, let's look at this. Robert Kennedy in Pythagorean gematria sums to 66. Notice how the names Robert and Kennedy are 33, a very special number to the Zionists and the Masons. The Kennedys come from Massachusetts. Only 3 states have 33 gematria. The first and last, Delaware and Hawaii, and the 6th, Massachusetts, where the Kennedys come from. The word federal has gematria of 33. Think of the federal government. Washington, D.C., the federal capital, has simple English gematria of 137, which is the 33rd prime number. Robert Kennedy would be assassinated by Sirhan Sirhan. Look at the name gematria, 3333, summing to 66. And 66 stands out because he died on June 6th, 66. If you write out the word 33 and sum it in Pythagorean, it equals 66. If you write out Doomsday in Summit, it sums to 33. Doomsday was June 6th, 1944, 24 years earlier. The reflection of 42, he would die at 42. If you write out the word 44, Truth Seeker, in Summit, it sums to 144. Think about how Obama's the 44th president, JFK was the 44th term president, JFK was the 35th president. The word Catholic equals 35. He's the only Catholic president to date. But 44th term president is the distinction. The most famous assassination in political history is that of Julius Caesar, who died in 44 BC. There's a festival called Lupercalia on the 44th day of the year that has a gematria of 44. The word kill equals 44, Truth Seeker. Notice K is 11, I is 9, L is 12, L is 12. 12 times 12 is 144. April 4th is the date that the first ever president died in office. William Henry Harrison, the 9th president, was the first to die in office a month into his term on April 4th, 44. April 4th and 44 both sum to 144. The next president to die in office will be the 9th president to die in office. The last was JFK. He was the 8th. Think about how the 9th was the first to die. The next will be the 9th to die. JFK died on the first day of Sagittarius, having gematria of 144 as well. He died on a date with 96 numerology. The name Lee Oswald sums to 96. He was shot from 411 Elm Street. The word assassin equals 411 in Jewish gematria. And with regards to Bobby Kennedy, he died at 1:44 in the morning, June 6th. 1:44 a.m. To make no mistake about it. The headline from the New York Times, keep in mind the New York Times equals 93, a very important number in New York. One World Trade Center equals 93. It stands 1,776 feet tall. 1776 has a numerology of 93, 17 plus 76. The word propaganda equals 93, though, as well, Truth Seeker. This phrase, Kennedy is dead, equals 66. This whole first line, Kennedy is dead, victim of assassin, equals 166. Twin Towers and 9/11 equal 166. Think about that in New York from the New York Times. And also, aside from dying at 1:44 a.m., he died 10 days later after visiting Roseburg, the town with 42 gematria, at age 42. And notice how 10 days later sums to 144. He died 26 hours after being shot. 26, the God number. If you write out 26 in Jewish gematria, it sums to 1944. Again, the date of Doomsday. June 6th, World War II. Now get this. If Obama were to die 10 days later after visiting Roseburg, it would be October 19th, and there's a lot of things that are interesting about this day. Let's start with the fact that it has numerology of 44. And if you do the full method where you add plus 20 more for 2015, it would equal 64. Obama's the 44th president. His full name in gematria sums to 64. Here's what's creepy. Civil rights equals 64. Civil Rights Act happened in 64. He was elected the first black president, the 44th president, 44 years after the Civil Rights Act. October 19th leaves 73 days left in the year. The word sacrifice has gematria of 73. His birthday, 8/4/61, has numerology of 73. The date of the Civil Rights Act has numerology of 73. And civil rights, with the S exception, also equals 73. Important to note. An important date this year was September 23rd. It got a lot of coding. September 23rd to October 19th is 26 days. Obama met with the Pope on this day. Pope Francis has a lot of 44 connections, also 84 connections, and Obama has a lot of 84 connections. 84 is connected to the Jesuit order, another branch of this Zionism and Masonry, out of the Catholic Church. Numbers of significance, numbers coded abound. In history, Robert Kennedy gave his speech in Roseburg on May 27th, having gematria of 239. Right now, the United States is 239 years old. This is a very important number. It connects to the date September 23rd, 23/9. is another way to express September 23rd. This year we were tracking September 23rd. We realized it was connected to the date October 6th because the conversion from Gregorian calendar, which we use, to Julian calendar, the Old World calendar, is September 23rd to October 6th. Now get this, Truth Seeker. From October 6th to October 19th is also the other conversion going from our calendar to the Old World calendar, the Julian calendar. So all of these dates, September 23rd, October 6th, October 19th, are linked. From Obama's birthday to October 19th is a span of 10 weeks, 6 days, kind of like 106, this number of prophecy that connects to the date October 6th. I hope you're following me. It's a few steps to comprehend, but I just want to show you all the things that line up possibly for this date of October 19th, going with this 10 days later theory. Also, that date October 19th, you drop the 0 like you would in numerology, becomes 119, the number connected to Star of David, connected to the last major tragedy in this nation, September 11th, not counting natural disasters. Well, and not counting all the shooting hoaxes, the Boston Marathon bombing hoax. Let's also just look where Bobby Kennedy was shot. I think some more things are foreshadowed here. The Ambassador Hotel. He was shot June 5th, would die 26 hours later, June 6th, 1:44 a.m. Notice the coordinates, 34th parallel north, 118th meridian west. And notice the gun name. I'll show you how all this is interesting. The word murder has Pythagorean gematria of 34. He was on the 34th parallel. The word death in Jewish gematria sums to 118. He was on the 118th meridian. Ambassador Hotel has gematria of 54, this number that's connected to Thelema and occult sacrifice. Obama's currently 54 years old. Loretta Lynch, his attorney general, someone with a very curious name. Loretta Lynch equals 54. Her confirmation hearing began on a date with 44 numerology. Also, she was born in the year 59. Again, kill sums to 59 Jewish, 44 simple English. And they're coding these names and numbers all over Loretta Lynch. The gun he was killed with, the Ivor Johnson, has gematria of 59, and with the S exception 68, like the year he died in. Again, 59, the kill number. His brother John F. Kennedy had gematria of 59. Barack Obama, in simple English gematria, sums to 68. And think about him, probably the most famous political black figure in the nation, him and Martin Luther King Jr. MLK dead in 68, 2 months and 2 days before Bobby Kennedy. So this is the 10-day theory, Truth Seeker. If you want to know how to gematria, just type in how to gematria. My video will pop right up. Teach you all these skills very quickly. You can learn a lot with this gematria. All sorts of things coded in front of us. Here's headlines from CNN the other day for the flooding in South Carolina. 1,000-year level of rain having gematria of 1916, like the year of the greatest flood in the Carolinas, 1916. This gematria is a real practice. They use it all the time. Learn this skill. You will have new eyes to see. And also check out my friend's blog, Extra Capsa. He gave me a lot of the information and helped clue me into this 10-day theory, Truth Seeker. But that's the message. All these headlines, all these dates, all these numbers, hidden knowledge all this time. Until next time.